Here is the story of Ronald Opus. It's a story you may have seen before on the internet, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. On March 23, 1994, a medical examiner viewed the body of Ronald Opus and concluded that he died from a gunshot wound of the head caused by a shotgun. Investigation to that point had revealed that the descendant had jumped from the top of a 10-story building with the intent to commit suicide. He left a note indicating his despondency. As he passed the 9th floor on his way down, his life was interrupted by a shotgun blast through a window, killing him instantly. Neither the shooter nor the descendant was aware that a safety net had been erected at the 8th floor level to protect some window washers, and that the descendant would, most likely, not have been able to complete his intent to commit suicide because of this. Ordinarily, a person who starts into motion the events with a suicide intent ultimately commits suicide, even though the mechanism might not be what they intended. That he was shot on the way to certain death 9 stories below would probably not have changed his mode of death from suicide to homicide. But the fact that a suicidal intent would not have been achieved under any circumstances caused the medical examiner to feel that he had a homicide on his hands. Further investigation led to the discovery that the room on the 9th floor from whence the shotgun blast emanated was occupied by an elderly man and his wife. The man was threatening the wife with the shotgun because of an interspousal spat and became so upset that he could not hold the shotgun straight. Therefore, when he pulled the trigger, he completely missed his wife, and the pellets went through the window, striking the descendant on his way down. When one intends to kill subject A but kills subject B in the attempt, one is guilty of the murder of subject B. The old man was confronted with this conclusion, but both he and his wife were adamant in stating that neither knew that the shotgun was loaded. It was, in fact, a long-term habit of the old man to threaten his wife with an unloaded shotgun. He had no intent to murder her. Therefore, the killing of the descendant appeared to be an accident. That is, the gun had been accidentally loaded. But further investigation turned up a witness that their son was seen loading the shotgun approximately 6 weeks prior to the fatal accident. That investigation showed that the mother, the old lady in this case, had cut off her son's financial support, and her son, knowing the propensity of his father to use the shotgun threateningly, loaded the gun with the expectation that the father would shoot his mother. The case now becomes one of murder on the part of the son for the death of Ronald Opus. Now comes the exquisite twist. Further investigation revealed that the son, Ronald Opus himself, had become increasingly despondent over the failure of his attempt to get his mother murdered. This led him to jump off the 10-story building on March 23rd, only to be killed by a shotgun blast through a 9th-story window. The medical examiner closed the case as a suicide. Now that's a lot to take in. Do you agree with the medical examiner? 100% false. This never happened. Ronald Opus could exist out there in some form or fashion, but not in this circumstance. This story was actually a speech given at a banquet of the American Academy of Forensic Sciences. This anecdote was used to illustrate the legal complexities and unexpected twists that can exist within a homicide investigation. Every once in a while, you'll see a story of Ronald Opus making the rounds on the internet, a sort of urban legend on the most complicated suicide ever committed. But it's fake. Anyway, it's still a good anecdote and helps us think about the law and death investigations in a creative way, so maybe it still has some value.